What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we have Tank Davis and Lamont Roach 2. They have officially finalized on a date, which is going to be August 16th. If you guys were living under a rock, just a little quick run back. Tank and Lamont Roach fought, what was it, March 1st of this year. Tank, it was not Tank's best performance at all, and I'm gonna break down what I feel like each fighter needs to do in the rematch, which is actually very similar in my opinion what they both need to do, and then I'll give you my opinion about the original fight. But we do have a rematch locked in, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into the article, and then we'll drop opinions. But I want to know your comments too. I want to hear your opinion as well, so make sure you drop your comment in the comment section and let's talk about this, man. Alright, so shout out to the Boxing News app. Make sure y'all go download that. It says Tank vs. Roach 2 lands 16th of August. It says Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach will run back their controversial draw on Saturday, 16th of August. I don't know why I said 16th August. August 16th, headlining a PBC on Prime Video pay-per-view at Las Vegas T-Mobile Arena. The 12-rounder will again carry Davis the WBA lightweight title and tops one of 3 premium PBC shows penciled for the second half of 2025. What are the other two? Their first meeting at Brooklyn's Barclays Center ended with a 115-113, overruled by a 114-114 draw after Davis took a 9th-round knee he blamed on hair chemicals seeping into his eye. Referee Steve Willis never issued a knockdown count nor penalized the impromptu timeout, and New York's replay system malfunctioning meant Roach lost out on what could have been a 10-8 decisive frame. Roach camp lodged a protest, and the New York State Athletic Commission upheld the draw but acknowledged the blown call. And for y'all that don't know, like I had looked into that, and it basically was saying the New York State Athletic Commission basically stated that like the only reason why they can't overrule it is because they feel like they basically used a hypothetical situation, because it's like they said if they would have called that a knockdown, Tank probably, like, who's to say that Tank would have fought with more precision, he would have been more aggressive or whatnot. But that's not Lamont Roach's fault. I mean, regardless, it still should have been considered a knockdown. You can't live off of hypotheticals. Y'all messed up in that situation or whatnot. But anyways, Roach told boxing scene vowing to show versatility, strength, and the will of a warrior, and leave Vegas with the belts he felt was his in March. For Davis, the rematch is a chance to erase a lone blemish on an otherwise perfect record and reignite momentum after muting showing against a 1,200-plus underdog. Training camp leadership remains undecided, but Team Tank promises a clean knockout to silent skeptics. All right, man. So it sounds good. All right. So listen, first of all, even though nobody wanted this fight to happen, right? Nobody wanted this fight to happen. This was not a fight that people wanted to see Tank in. I will say, let me give a shout out to Tank for at least running it back. All right. Now, it's funny because I noticed this a lot with fighters like Tank, like Floyd, like Andre Ward, like when they have close fights, they run it back, right? Tank running it back with Lamont Roach, Floyd Mayweather running it back with Jose Luis Castillo and Maidana, Andre Ward running it back with Sergey Kovalev. When it's a controversial fight, they run it back, even though you guys love to hate them. And granted, I'm definitely on board with this. This was a BS fight to start with. I'm not, with Tank and Lamont Roach, I'm not, making excuses or sweeping that under the rug. It just is what it is. But I also noticed that like a lot of people give slack to these fighters or whatnot, but then these fighters will give you the rematch, right? Whereas we've never seen a Teofimo Lomachenko too. We never seen, I appreciate seeing fighters that are willing to run it back with, fighters that give them close fights, like Usyk did with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. But you have some fighters that get away with that, not giving a rematch. Triple G, we didn't see him run it back with Sergey Derevyanchenko. And for y'all that's gonna say, well, Sergey Derevyanchenko is not a big enough name. Well, neither is Lamont Roach, but we still saw that. So it's like, you know what I'm saying. So I do appreciate that when these fighters have a close fight, they're willing to run it back. Now, as far as the fight, I mean, I'm more excited about it than I am in the first fight, right? Because obviously it's a wrong that needs to be right in this fight. Now, you know, I would love for them to dress up the undercard as well, but I just think this is a fight that is something that needs to happen, right? We got an unexpected close fight, but what I would like to see is, for one, with Tank, listen. Going to the first fight, do I feel like it was a robbery? No. Do I feel like Lamont Peterson. Do I feel like Lamont Roach won? No, I don't. A lot of times people, when you have somebody that you're used to seeing knock out guys or get guys out of there, or even win in a clean fashion, when you have somebody that you have little expectation of, so let's just say, for example, you know, I like to break things down, right? You have fighter A and fighter B. Fighter A has been dominating, whether it's been a 12-0 decision or a knockout. He's just been dominating. So then he fights fighter B, who nobody's expecting to do anything in that fight. As a matter of fact, everybody's saying fighter A is going to wash fighter B. Well, when fighter B does, because the expectations are so little for fighter B, anything good that he does is going to get over glorified. Now, if that was fighter A against another fighter A, then we look at it like we don't glorify it as much because it's expected. But with fighter B, who is not as known or anything, we have so little, just our standards for him are so low that anything good he does, we're gonna glorify. All right, so fighter B wins, let's just say he wins 5 rounds, but does good in 7 rounds. A lot of times people are going to say, well, fighter B should have really won that fight because he did better than I expected. But in reality, he did good, but he just didn't do good enough to win. For me, that's Lamont Roach's fighter B in this situation, where he did decent, but not enough to win. I really I don't feel like Lamont Roach did enough to really just say, okay, I took the title from the champ. I don't. He sat back and waited on Tank a lot. He did have some decent counter moments. He had some good counter moments where he countered a Tank or whatnot, but he was waiting on Tank majority of the time, and Tank was pretty much waiting on him. And that's why I say, like, I would love for Tank to up the output on his jab, because it's a lot of times where Tank will just sit there and wait for something to happen or an opportunity to present itself, and then once that opportunity comes, Tank will take advantage of it. But I would like to see Tank create those opportunities for himself, rather than just wait. Okay, Tank really has now put himself in a situation where he has a point to prove, and he has something to prove now. He didn't have that at first coming into the fight with Lamont Roach at first. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure, whether he would admit it or not, I think Tank overlooked Lamont Roach. Now, Lamont Roach, on the other hand, he needs to pick his pace up as well. He needs to grab the bull by the horn and let it be known that I'm in this fight, bro. Because for me, like I said, I don't think anybody that's fighting for a title should just be sitting there waiting on a champ. It's almost like Lamont Roach was fighting like he was defending a title rather than trying to take one. I just didn't feel comfortable, even with the whole knockdown, which, granted, yes, I agree, it should have been a rule to knockdown. I just think that's crazy how, even after hearing what the the New York State Athletic Commission had to say, it's still like, bro, well, y'all are sitting here basically admitting that you guys made a mistake or you guys did wrongdoing, but you're not gonna do anything about it. It's like, oh well, tough titty. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's fair. But at the same time, even with all that being said, I still feel like Lamont Roach lost that fight. I thought that Tank won, and again, it wasn't based off. I don't think nobody pulled away with that fight at all. Like, let's just get that clear. Nobody pulled away from that fight. Like, the fight. So I had Tank winning, but not by much. But at the same time, like, I felt like Tank should have walked away with the victory. it just is what it is. But hopefully, because there's a grudge match now, it's Tank has something to prove. I definitely feel like we'll see a different version or a better version. I'm not gonna say a different, but a better version of Tank coming into the fight with Lamont Roach. Because again, Tank has something to prove, and so does Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach, he needs to prove that he should have walked away with those titles, that he belongs in this moment. All right. Lamont Roach took some good punches from Tank. Definitely, I give him credit for that. So he proves that he does have a chin, but I don't know if I don't know if I would say he took Tank's best punch, because Tank really didn't do much. Like, if you guys remember that fight, Tank just did not do much in that fight. I was just very disappointed in Tank. Wasn't happy with his performance at all. But that's why we have the rematch. So I'm excited to see the rematch. I'm excited. The reason why I like seeing rematches to close fights, because I like to see what fighter is going to make what adjustment, which fighter is what fighter learned from that fight and took the most out of that fight, and what adjustments are going to be made in the rematch. So I'm looking to see it. And Lamont Roach, he appears to be a smart fighter. So I definitely think there will be adjustments on Roach's side. Tank Davis, I feel like Tank is going to be more hungrier. He's definitely received a lot of criticism, so I think that Tank is going to be the more hungrier fighter. But we'll see. Only one way to find out, and that will be that'll be all shown on August 16th. All right, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Who do you picking to win in the rematch? Do you even want to see the rematch? But what do I know?